So hello friends, welcome back to my channel again, and these topics will be a little bit, let's say, old school. It's basically nowadays it doesn't happen, or when it happens, it's really occasional. As we are talking about loss of communication, okay, on board. So when we are in the cockpit, and as you can look, we have VHF1 radio, we have VHF2 radio, and we have VHF3, which means there is data for ACARS, and there is the standby in case of we need to communicate via the VHF3 panel, which is right overhead. Okay, and we can, for example, go to the QRH because one of my friend, captain, was flying from Paris and he has stuck the radio. And this is the worst case, that after departure you are continuously transmitting on frequency because you have stuck the radio. So you need to, but QRH says that there are memory items, but if you would like to know how to do things quickly and respond quickly, you have to go through the old QRH and try to memorize as much as possible. Okay, so in our case, if we have a radio microphone stuck, it means that we have to determine which one is stuck. Okay, and how we can know about it? So we can know about it because we put into the flight intercom. Okay, and as it is okay and everything is fine, we determine that VHF number 1 was the problem, and we have to use VHF number 2. If it is not true, we have to go to flight interphone. Okay, and if this stops continuous, so that means that it's VHF number 2. Okay, so this is the basically procedure within the QRH. Okay, so, and there is the note, as you can see. I will show you the picture right now, that the associated audio selector panel should stay on flight interphone because it's continuously transmitting whatever you said into the flight intercom, so basically within the airplane. Okay, so maybe it will be unpleasant for cabin crew, but anyway, so this is one thing I would like to point out. Another thing is what happens if things go wrong. I will show the picture of the airplane because we have 3 VHF antennas. Okay, and on this picture we have only 2 because I took the picture as I flew the classics, and we have only 2 VHF on board, with no HF frequency as well. So that means that that there are only 2. Okay, but in NG we have 3, but basically that's a picture. Okay, so what will be the procedure if we suddenly lose the communication? There are 3 ways. There is one-way communication. For example, we can receive the message, but we are unable to respond to the message. Okay, the second one should be that we can transmit, but we are not here nobody basically, okay? So we have no instructions from ground, tower, radar, and so on. This is quite much more worse scenario, and the worst scenario is that we are completely blind, okay? In this case, there are some compulsory reporting point. That means that in certain waypoints or at certain points, you should make it is called by transmitting blind. All you can find in ICAO annexed chapter 2, okay, paragraph, I don't know what it is, but anyway, so we have to transmitting blind in order to know that if because we don't know that we are, for example, transmitting, okay, so we are transmitting blind, it's so called. And what is the most important to know about the squawk code? As you both know that squawk code of 7 0 is the squawk code for emergency, okay? And for our purpose, when you set the squawk code 760, that means for radio for air traffic controllers, which are you depicted on their radars, that you have no radio communications, so they have the scenario for this, and they are clearing the traffic in front of you, okay? So this is important. Another squawk code, I will not talk about it because it's forbidden. It's for when somebody try to or let's get forced into the cabin, and he should try for example, let's say you have the gun and hey man, now you are going to fly there, no there, so it's code for these purposes. But anyway, we are now talking about the code, so I will leave it like this one, okay? Now everything is perfect, everything is fine. We have the clearance, flight level 130, okay? As we are on the Gdansk and we are going to Bratislava airport, I will show you how it is in this situation, okay? So let engine stable, start the flight time. Okay, we've got a clearance, everything is okay, that's fine. Now we press N1 toga. Because I cannot pause the flight simulator, I need to speak a little bit quicker and go, and maybe it will be not good explanation from my side, but anyway, it's basically okay. So we wanna rotate, okay.
Positive rate of climb.
Okay, so we have gear up. Now we have 400 feet approximately, so put L now. I will put, for example, autopilot engaged command with level change, and now we switch, for example, from tower to basically to approach, okay? And we are trying to contact the approach, but it was unsuccessful. So what are we going to do right now? We switch overhead VHF 2, revert the frequency, okay, into this side, and because this may be inoperative, so it doesn't matter if you press these switches. Okay, so we are trying to contact here, no response. Okay, so we can put the data and we can select the active, no response as well. So we are in big trouble. If we have the ACARs on board, basically or not ACARs, the CPDLC, it's okay more or less, because we can communicate with CPDLC, and basically right now we don't have any problem. Okay, so but I will use you when everything is broken. Imagine broken is CPDLC. So what are we going right now to do? Okay, what we are going to do is very simple. Okay, so we put the squawk code as the first 760, and that means that air traffic controller will see on the radar, hey, those guys have the problems with radio transmitting. Okay, and they are trying to solve the situation. Okay, for example, they can give you a reclearance. For example, stop climbing at flight level 80. If you do not do so, that means that you are not receiving the voice messages from them. Okay, and now the procedures are not so tricky. Some pilots call that now you are okay, nobody is disturbing you, and you can do whatever you want. Okay, so basically, and I am not just talking right now about because it's divided into VMC and EMC conditions, or let's say to VFR and IFR flight. In our IFR flight we have to continue to our destination. Okay, because the air traffic controllers doesn't know our intentions, so we will continue via flight plan and continue to assign flight level, last assigned flight level. If this flight level assigned is below your obstacle clearance altitude, or let's say below grid mora or minimum off-road altitude, you should keep much more. Okay, you should adjust your altitude. Okay, that's it. So we have 10,000 feet, so lights off. So, okay, that's fine. Yeah, there's basically nothing special. So far we can release the cabin, and we'll wait, and I will tell you something, because there are quite changes. Okay, that's why I am always taking no minimum block fuel, but if performance limited landing weights and takeoff weights allow me to do so, I will take always extra fuel additional for unpredictable situations. But within the unpredictable situations, you have the contingency fuel. Okay, but contingency fuel is sometimes not enough. So we are approaching flight level 130. We can put 500 feet per minute in order just to keep the speed within the proper way. Okay, and or let's say 1000, up to 1000 is okay, because if you have higher speed and another traffic has, for example, clear to descent flight level 140, and you are climbing high, and he is descending high, you should have a resolution advisory, because the transponder doesn't know what is set on the MCP. Okay, so now we are climbing to last assigned flight level, and now we start the timing. Okay, and we have to keep this altitude for 20 minutes. Okay, I don't know who realized 20 minutes, because if you're a short flight, what you can do? Okay, wait 20 minutes between, for example, Bratislava Košice airport. It makes no sense. Okay, but sometimes people from ICAO or EASA are a little bit behind and don't listen to the pilots. But okay, imagine that this 20 minutes has already passed. Okay, so stop the chrono, the 20 minutes is passed, and now we can climb via flight route to assign our cruising level, which is flight level 350. So we'll put flight level 350. And going to 350, so put V now. Now, what we are going to do, it's very important. Start to prepare yourself as soon as possible. For example, you check your operational flight plan, and within this operational flight plan, it's clearly stated, for example, because if you don't have ACARS, you don't have the VHF, you cannot catch the 80s. Okay, so you don't know which runway is in use. Okay, and what are the med report over the airport. You have basically no information. So look at the chart, look at your OFP, and in OFP it should be more or less fresh weather, okay, for the airport. So in our case, in Stefanik, it's 0305 knots. Okay, so what does it mean? It's shallow fog. Okay, 2000 feet, and visibility drops into the low visibility, which is not good for us, but anyway, okay. 0305 knots, so we have runway 31 over there. That means that if we use runway 31, we have approximately approximately 40, we have a little bit of crosswind. Okay, or more or less we have the crosswind component of 70 degrees. Okay, but if we use runway 22, always check as well the NOTAMs, what is depicted over there. If we are using runway 22, so what does it mean? Okay, so it means that with runway 22 conditions, we will have a tailwind component. Okay, because runway 22, you can imagine it's 80, and 80 plus 60 is 150, plus 30 it's 180, so it's exactly tailwind component. So we will perform the landing over on runway 31. Okay, so 1019er, so we'll prepare 1019er. And we can put it into the descent forecast page. And now if you're completely unable, so you cannot via ACARS and data link to put the wind conditions, so you have to put it manually from your operational flight plan. Transition level in Bratislava is always 110, which is above 1013, so I know about that. Okay, so in this case what I will do, I will put there 27414. I don't know why it is not working. Yeah, because I'm switching from PMDG to to Zibo mode, and they are completely their FMCs are completely different. Okay, so 2028 202/8. And if you watch my previous video, this is negligible effect. We can check as well with significant weather chart if we have some icing or turbulence or something. It's basically clear. Okay, it's okay. NOTAM is as well okay, so we are good to go. And now we have to prepare for landing of runway 31. But how we can prepare the landing? Okay, I will put flaps, auto brake 2, that's fine, that's okay. We can adjust, we are going to burn 1.5 ton of fuel, so 62.5, it's okay. Flaps are fine, and VRF additive is 5 knots, and we can put Bratislava airport, so Lima Zulu India Bravo, okay, like this one. And now via approach we know that we are too light, so in this case, okay, it's not working, I need to close it and put it once again. Lima Zulu India Bravo, and now we know that for ILS 31 it's 310. I put roughly, okay, just for training purposes I will not put the NDBs, and on standby in case of loss of communication failure, but anyway, we will discuss it a little bit later on, what's going on. 110.7. Okay, so we have it pre-selected, and now it should be quite tricky situation, because procedure says to us that we have to come overhead the servicing aid overhead the airport, and descend with the racetrack and start our outbound turn and inbound leg, inbound course to our landing. So we need to go here, and as we are here we are starting to descend. Okay, so that means that we are not using any standard instrument arrival, and we have to use only but only the runway 31 localizer. Okay, and it will goes via Oscar Bravo. Okay, we'll put it like this one, and we will see from Berva what he is going to show to us. Okay, so as you can see, there is a little bit of discrepancy. Okay, because right here, okay, we have center fix 31. Okay, and center fix 31, it's basically 6.4 from Oscar Bravo NDB. Okay, so this is this point. Okay, and as you can see we'll overshoot this point, but this is the way how it works, because we have to accommodate the situation. It's right now you have to keep in mind your IFR training with conventional navigation and make it like this way. So first of all, what I would like to check out, it's the holding pattern. Okay, so I will put hold over here, or let's say like this one. Now you can see the hold. Okay, so we have inbound course 310 and right turns. Sometimes I need to remember, but remember that we are flying with high altitude, so we have to use 1.5 a minute. Okay, because we are above flight level 140. So 310 right turns, everything is okay. And what I will do, I will clear this center fix waypoint. Okay, so go here. Okay, and this center fix should be out of the way. Okay, and after this waypoint we should put Oscar Bravo and DB. It's like this now. This 165 and 150 is this waypoint. That's pretty okay. That's quite okay. So if we are coming here, we'll hold with the outbound. Okay, and we put the minima 634. Okay, and don't forget always transmitting blind. So that means that when you start climbing to cruising level, just because you really don't know what happens. Okay, so anyway, but yes, it should be the situation that for example Oh, disregard. Okay, so uh, so all we have prepared, as you can see, it's non-standard. Okay, so we will flying from the north, so that means that we will make parallel entry. Okay, like this one, and this is not holding pattern. This is called racetrack. Descend with the racetrack. And another important thing is some airports has missed approach, which is depicted on this part of the chart, and this missed approach is in case of radio communication failure. I try to find some airport when it is. Okay, so for example we can take Prague airport. Okay, we'll see what is depicted over there. Okay, okay, again not working. Okay, so Prague airport, runway 24 is famous, and now you can see missed approach with communication failure. Okay, climb 241 to 4000 feet at DME 10 from Oscar Kilo Lima, which is based it is basically on the runway 30, because it is using for non-precision approach for runway 30, but this is out of the way. At DME 10 from Oscar Kilo Lima, turn right to VOR, climbing to 5000 feet. So you have to climb to VOR and climb to 5000 feet and go to the VOR. Okay, and from VOR, as you can see, you have to follow the direction 056 and make it with a standard turn, and it's really important to know what is the standard turn and what is the base turn. It's the basic IFR terms. I would not explain it right now, okay? But anyway, all of the airports, or let's say when I am flying to a certain airport, I'm always one day before, if I don't know the airport, I'm always when I am in the bed and watching TV, I am always going through the charts and try to memorize what are the preferential runway systems, what are the radio navigation aids, and especially read the briefing charts. Okay, and then you have everything. You have noise abatement, for example, you have preferential runway system. Okay, you have using of reverse thrust, it's most important. Run-up test, when we can start the APU, noise abatement procedures, low visibility procedures, everything which is related, general taxi procedures, parking let's say parking types, for example, if the airport serves the marshallers or visual docking systems, or and so on and so on. Another information like They have problems with anti-skid layer between taxiway Foxtrot, runway 12, and so on, birds in the vicinity. That's really very important, okay? You have noise abatement procedures, hey? And some airports has as well let's say the procedures which are related to our problems, so communication failure procedures, okay? So now I cannot see anything like this. Taxi, pushback, startup, that's nothing depicted, and I'm always checking the for example rapid exit way, because in Wien when you are medium airplane, and if you for example don't have a good reason why you are overshoot Bravo 9 for runway 34, for example in Vienna, I can show you it right now. Okay, if you are landing over the runway 34, or let's say I will put it on the taxi chart, okay, airport, and as you can see as a medium jet you should vacate via Bravo 9 and Bravo 5. If you vacate via Bravo 4 and Bravo 2, you are in serious troubles, because they are writing always report to CAA and they were investigated. If you have good reasons why you have to do so, because suddenly my auto brakes wasn't working and we have to start to brake them manually, and I don't want to or let's say I have close to the wear tires, so I need to roll it out, okay, so they can accept it, but most of the times it ends with the penalty of 10,000 euros, okay? So but it's out of the way. We are focusing on communication failure procedure. So let's, for example, in Vienna, we will check briefly if there is any communication failure procedure which we have to follow, okay? Because sometimes it's depicted right over there. Okay, nothing. Noise abatement, nothing. Runway operations, as you can see, Bravo 7 and so on, heavy, medium. Runway 34, Bravo 5 and Bravo 7. Okay, so I was wrong. It was Bravo 5 and Bravo 7. So okay, so these are the rapid exitways, and as you can see, other information in wind is communication failure during misapproach. Okay, so it's not depicted on the chart, but it's depicted on the general part. But you have to know as a pilot, okay? You have to know as the pilot med report. You have to be aware of the significance of the charts of your status of your airplane. For example, if you have engine or let's say if you have engine anti-ice off, okay, or let's say one engine anti-ice inoperative, you are not allowed to fly within icing conditions. So if you see on the significant weather chart that you are overflying these severe icing conditions, you cannot fly, or you have to call to the dispatch and make another routing which leads to the fuel penalty and so on. So as you can see right in Wien, it's on this chart, okay? So it's on general part, and in some airports you can find communication failure on the approach chart. Okay, so this is the basic rule, and for example, okay, so let's go to our flight to Lima Zulu India Bravo, and it is small airport, a relatively small airport, but anyway, we have to always check if there is something which we need to know. Okay, so this is Lima Zulu India Bravo, and now as you can see with the approach chart, in case of communication failure, we have basically nothing here. Okay, we have some misapproach climb gradient and so on. Is because the these hills are called Carpathia hills. Okay, so but I remember times when I was flying that missed approach was divided here. Okay, but anyway, so go to the briefing, start with general part. Okay, so we have ATs, we have noise abatement procedures. Okay, we have preferential runway systems. Okay, so we have nighttime restrictions, RANA test, reverse thrust. Okay, exceptions. Okay, use of APU. Okay, we have some limitations over there, I don't know why. Low visibility procedures, taxi procedures, parking informations, there is nothing special. Arrival. Okay, with alternative procedure when in case of misapproach, Juliet Alpha November VOR is unserviceable. Again, noise abatement procedure with visual and instrument. Okay, we have this is the general arrival. Okay, it's quite okay. Airport briefing, de-icing, anti-icing, startup, pushback, noise abatement procedure. Well, okay, what is the noise abatement procedures and how we are using them? I will make a separate video about it. Anyway, this is the airport chart, so that's basically okay, nothing special there. Parking stands. Okay, so in case of communication failure, there is nothing special depicted over at Bratislava. And now we are closing to the top of this point, so we can press the recall, we can check the fuel status, we have auto brake, MCP, we have filled forecast page, and I'm not pretty sure if I put right minimums. Minimums is 634. Yeah. And remember, if you have communication failure, when you come out of the runway, you should wait for the follow me car. Okay, you shouldn't taxi according to your liking. You should wait for the follow me car, and they will lead us to the particular stand which is depicted for us. Okay. And after flight, we have to fill the report. The report is simply called aviation safety report. So we have to check what was wrong and what happens and so on, and as well the mechanics or the maintenance personnel come to the airplane and check the but anyway, this is really very occasional because now most of the airplanes have CPDLC. This is the first part, or have the ACARS at least to pick up the ATIS information, and it should be a very tricky situation if you suddenly broke your 1, 2 and 3 VHF settings. Okay, so we can go down, and as I said before, there are two ways. Okay, so one way, it's first of all we need to reset the MCP altitude. One way is to put it 2000 and 1000 feet per minute. Okay, this is the best economical speed to catch the glide, but we can do it there like this, and now it's okay. And as you can see, he will keep 1000 feet per minute until he catch the glide slope. Okay, sometimes it differs, 950 feet, 1050 feet and so on. They are not so precise, so anyway, it's really okay. So now we are starting to descending, and this is the compulsory reporting. So that means that we have to say the phraseology in a proper way and tell, for example, relax 101, transmitting blind, starting descent from flight level 350 into flight level 200 and proceeding directly to Oscar Bravo NDB. Okay, for racetrack. It's just it could happen that maybe you suddenly have the communication, and that's okay. So always be aware of the fact that when it's compulsory reporting point, you have to make it. And this is what I was talking to many guys on the WhatsApp. There is nobody out of the airport, but he is talking, okay, I am pushing back, I am taxi via this way, I am after departure crossing 3000 feet and continue via I don't know, Duben 3 Alpha and climbing to 5000 feet, and now I'm climbing. It's completely unusable if there is nobody on WhatsApp, or let's say one traffic. Okay, so we can see each other. Okay, it's no problem. And the rules of air tells us that, okay, so if we do not talk with us, so the airplane should give the way from the airplane which is coming from the right side. It's like in a car. Okay, so, and where do you have to need to talk because there are too much traffic, for example. Okay, and for example, you are on establishing the ILS on 5 miles, so you can easily and you have to tell that, okay, relax 101, currently established final runway 245 nautical miles, or let's say short final, okay, and that means for the airplane on the holding point in order to wait, okay. So we will speed it a little bit up. So we obey these points, okay. Okay, I'm quite dumb. So basically, if you have a loss of communications, it's basically no big deal, but what is unpleasant, or let's say uncomfortable, you have to write aviation safety report, and you need to talk with your CAA. What was the problem and what was your decision, and they are strictly looking forward if you are keeping the procedures like Annex says, okay. So that's it. So once again, the different procedure applies for VMC VFR and IMC IFR, okay. And now we are Boeing 737, we are in IFR flight and IMC conditions, so that means that we have to follow this thing. What I don't like it is when somebody is making drift down procedure and he put the heading select and flight straight ahead. It's basically has nothing with the common sense. Go via your routing, okay? Why not? Check your minimum off-road altitude and everything is okay. And as you have memory items completed, checklist completed, everything is secured, everything is okay. So basically, then we will talk to the air traffic controller. What will be our course of action, okay? Because it may happen that you stop, for example, because the minimum off-road altitude is 14,000 feet. You stop at 14,000 feet, and you have to use your oxygen mask, but in not in this position. I will show you right now. With 100%, but in normal. That means that the mix there is flowing the mixture with the actual air, so it's not pure oxygen. It's the oxygen demand according to your flight level in order to increase the consumption of the crew oxygen, okay. So basically maybe sometime you don't have the time, okay, because you are losing the crew oxygen and you have to really make things very quickly, okay. So now we are on arm position. And one situation: if you are descending with the racetrack, the racetrack or holding with flaps extended in icy conditions is prohibited, so be aware of this fact and put it into the minimum clean config speed, but do not use the flaps, okay? So press recall once again. It's checked. So meanwhile, I will look. I will press it like now, and I will print for you the parts of the operational flight plan. Okay. So okay, so we're approaching. So flight level 120. Okay, recycle the cabin. It's okay. Another point of view for you. And you will see the final conclusion in the end of the video. Okay, so this we have. That's pretty okay. So we are happy. We are descending. As you can see, there are. I like this weather match very much because it contains these shallow fogs and it's quite perfect. But what I dislike, it's no turbulence within cumulus clouds and no friction coefficient, in Microsoft Flight Simulator and no altitude temperature correction error. So that means it's visually perfect, but in real life it is more complicated. Okay, let's say, or let's put it like this one. My first instructor on Boeing 737 was always mad of me because I was putting ILS on the standby instrument, and he was really mad because it's not the procedure. Why you are doing this? Okay, so no, because okay, I like to do so. And when I'm using the weather radar, I will use flight path vectors. It's some kind of help, and that's as well. It's not part of the procedure. So why is the flight path vector there? For nothing. Okay. Well, there are certain peoples which you are comfortable with, and some certain people which are uncomfortable with. But anyway, what I would like to do right now, I will a little bit check on the internet what is the actual weather in 0505 knots. Yeah, well, it's crosswind component. It's crosswind component, but it's tailwind component for runway 22, because runway 13 it's basically you are not using it, and runway 04 as well. But if you look at the chart and look at circling, so you can make a circle to land, okay, like this one, but nobody is doing there because we are overflying the city, and it's not comfortable. Okay, so we'll make a crosswind landing. It's only few knots. So, and this is for runway 13. Okay, but it should be somewhere here that it is just for it's not authorized with the night. Okay, it makes sense because there are the hills and you can see basically nothing. They have different procedures in Wien Innsbruck, because they have within the IEP they have some let's say markings and visual lightings, so they can do so. Okay, but here in Bratislava we cannot do so. So this will be our part of arrival. Okay. Okay, so approaching flight level 100, lights coming on. Everything is okay. And now I will stop at flight level 100, okay? Because the procedure says that you have to go to the radio navigation aid and descend with the racetrack, okay? So what we should do in real life, go with your flight level 350 overhead this waypoint and constantly descending, okay, with 300, okay, but I broke the rules for the time being, okay, so I will stop at flight level 100, or let's say it's 10,000 feet. It should be 10,000 feet because we have 1019er, and in descent forecast page is 110, okay. Oh, it's my mistake. 110 right now, okay. So right now is okay. So again, if you're coming to the airport, go to the certain navigation aid and then we will descend with the racetrack. So that means that I should go to waypoint Oscar Bravo, which is right over here in flight level 350, and within the flight level 350 start to descend, okay, with the racetrack, and descend as I have 2500 feet, okay, but we will make it a little bit non-standard, but this is the procedure. So we have MCP speed, altitude, hold. Yeah, well, guys, why I'm making this non-standard procedure according to standard, because I would like to show the beauty of Slovakian country and orthophoto scenery, so it's basically quite fine. That's okay. So as you can see, it's just for your eyes, but again, once again, you are going in flight level 350, which was your assigned flight altitude, going to radio navigation aid and descend with the racetrack, okay, to 2500 feet. So this is the correct procedure. What I'm doing right now is just for your eyes and to see the beautiful country below, okay. So as we are below flight level 140, so we can adjust this procedure, which is 310 right turn, that's okay. And below flight level 110, we should put outbound leg of 1 time, okay? Because we are not specified with the DME distance, okay, in this case. And just for the situational awareness, this is the final approach point and it's based from Oscar Bravo, so we can put it into the fixed page Oscar Bravo, okay, and Oscar Bravo, it's DME 6.4, so this is this frequency DME 6.4, okay, and be aware of the fact that you are real close to the runway right now because it's only 6 nautical miles. You need to have your common sense and use the sound judgment and to know where to descend, okay? So in this case, as we are closing to the 2500 feet and we are no longer in icing conditions, so we may decelerate to at least gear down flaps 15, okay? So as you can see right now, we are going here and I guess it's parallel entry. No, teardrop entry, but parallel entry. Anyway, we'll see. When you are flying 20 years and you have everything set up in FMC, you completely forget what is the parallel entry, direct entry and teardrop entry, because you are getting lazy so much, so that's why. As you can see, there are a bunch of shallow fog. This is the shallow fog. This is the shallow fog as well. And now this is Lima Zulu India Bravo Bratislava, capital city main airport. This is runway 31, runway 22, runway 04 and runway 13. And as you can see, the visual pattern for runway 13, it's quite complicated, so that's why this procedure is forbidden at the night, okay? Okay, we can slow down. And now we are entering the holding pattern, so we can go to 2500 feet. It was wrong what I said right now. We can go to altitude 2500 feet in order to be precise with the phraseology, because you have to always tell descent 2500 feet altitude or descent altitude 2500, not descent to 2500, okay? It's my mistake, it's my bad. lights, everything is okay. And now we are descending with the racetrack overhead the facility, airport facility. All air traffic controllers should know or should be aware about the situation when you have engine communication fail procedure, okay? One more thing, which is not clearly stated in procedural parts of Annex. What you have to do if you don't have some radio navigation aid and racetrack procedure and you have only air-nav arrival for particular runway with no holding, no racetrack, nothing. Okay, so basically you are flying like normal flight but without any communication. Okay. And this is a lovely situation because the passengers are absolutely not aware about the fact that we have, let's say, it's not the emergency code, it's not PAN code, but we are making things absolutely non-standard. Okay, so okay, so it was parallel, as I said before, entry. Do not mess with, or let's say, these lines are pretty okay because the FMC is coded like this one, okay? So it's not this shape, but it is sometimes overlap and making some little bit strange procedure, but it is completely normal, okay? Now you can see this is the Gabčíkovo. And it is the water electricity. You see how close we are to the runway, so we need to be 2500 feet. Oh, and overhead this waypoint we should have 1600, so we have to be prepared and start to decelerate as soon as possible. And do not hurry up here with your descent, okay? We have plenty of the time to do so. But I can completely understand that on VATSIM there is basically the controllers who are not aware about the situation, so they can be written well of you, but in real life it's completely normal, and everybody knows their own procedure. Okay, so we have 1000 level off, that's pretty okay, so we may start to decelerate and put it, for example, 500. Flaps 5, like this one. Can make it non-standard, flaps 10. Gear down, flaps 15.
2500.
Okay, and now we can exit hold via this waypoint. Okay, so put engine start switches to continuous. It's okay, advise the cabin crew. And as you can see, we can 1600, that's okay. We can put it into the heading select mode, like this one, and arm the localizer. If you feel that you catch the localizer sooner before you entering the localizer mode, then you can go down, and we can go down to 1700 feet, so 1700, that's pretty okay with vertical speed, and go down. We have captured, approach, can go a little bit more down. Okay, so miss approach heading 310 is set. You can go a little bit more down. Because we are not still catching the glide slope, but anyway, if we don't feel comfortable, so put flaps 25, and we have glide slope captured, so we can put it. I don't know why the speed brakes are with this position. I don't put it over there. Like this one, that's okay. Flaps 30 and 150, and as you can see, we can read the checklist and everything is okay. Everything is prepared, so now we are basically good to go. So we can disconnect the autopilot, deselect the speed, and yeah, we can fly it manually. Okay.
Approaching minimums. Minimums. Glide slope. Glide slope.
This glide slope, please disregard, because I don't see the puppy with my oversaturated display. But I can see the puppy. We are still below. And now we have wind blowing from the right side, as I expected.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Okay. So we are down. Put the reverse thrust, but here we made one mistake, and a big mistake, as I see it. Okay, so closing the thrust reverse, stop the speed brakes. I will set the parking brakes, and we have only Bratislava airport is 400. Okay, but we have only 150. So I will check against flight plan. What was depicted over there? And there was depicted the Bratislava airport has QNH 1029er, no 19er or 29er. Okay, so that's why I was not comfortable with it. Okay. Anyway, this fault, I'm happy that happens, because if you have QNH set below, that means your true altitude will be higher. If you have set QNH higher, then is actually it is your altitude will be lower, and that means that you are close to the opticals and your true altitude will be lower. Okay, in this case, so I'm happy that it happens, and I will show you the picture right over there. Okay. Okay, now we are leaving the active runway, so stop the flight time. put it back. Okay, we're out of the runway, so put it like this one, transponder to standby, and now we have to stop the airplane and wait for the assistance which lead us to the stand. So I hope you like this video, and this is a completely non-standard situation, and it happens for me. I don't have such a problem, okay? Friend of mine have the problem with stuck of the radio just after departure from Paris, which was unpleasant situation, but in real life to have broken all VHF settings, it's nearly impossible. So this is just the procedure, how it looks like if something has really goes wrong. Okay, so thank you very much for watching, and see you next time with next stream soon. I hope you like the video. Leave me a comment if you would like to know something. Bye bye.